Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am back with Nationalism in Europe timeline, which is very important. So the timeline is color coded again to represent the different countries that we will be talking about. We will discuss major events and why it came to be that way. This chapter is basically about the rise of nationalism in Europe, which is just the name of the chapter, but anyway, some regions became nations through liberal ideas such as France, while some through wars and blood and iron policy like Italy, Germany, etc. So we will see how these random bits and pieces of land in constant war became countries or nations that we know of today. So without wasting time, let's start. The Act of Union took place in 1707 between England and Scotland, forming the United Kingdom of Great Britain. England imposed its influence on Scotland, resulting in the ever old story of Britain suppressing its colonies, forbidden to speak their Gaelic language, dresses, etc. Similarly, Ireland was forcefully incorporated into the UK in 1801 after failed revolution attempts from Ireland's side. England's national symbols, such as the Union Jack and God Save Our King, were actively promoted. In 1789, as we studied in grade 9, was the French Revolution, the first clear expression of nationalism. In 1804, a long time later, the Napoleonic Civil Code was introduced, which simplified administrative divisions, abolished the feudal system, which is basically landholders providing land to tenants in exchange of loyalty and services, a highly exploitative practice. It freed peasants from serfdom and manorial dues. Serfdom is slavery, where the tenant is bounded to the landholder. It improved transport and communications, and also guild and trade restrictions were relaxed. Guild is basically an association of artisans and merchants. Napoleon lost the battle at Leipzig in 1813. Defeat of Napoleon in 1815 by the BARP nations caused Europeans to revert back to conservatism. BARP is basically Britain, Austria, Russia, and Prussia. Collectively defeated Napoleon, and they met at the Vienna Congress hosted by the Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich. All this gang came up with a treaty, like always, the Treaty of Vienna, because it was hosted in Vienna, and it caused the Bourbon kings to be restored to power, France to lose all of its territories, German Confederation of 39 states was left free, boundaries were set up to prevent further expansion by the French. Censorship was also introduced. Upheaval in France in 1830 was a direct consequence of a uprising of ideas of liberal nationalism yet again during the Age of Revolutions, that is from 1830 to 1848. Bourbon kings were overthrown to form a constitutional monarchy with King Louis Philippe at its head. 1845, the Silesia Revolt of the Weavers, due to economic depression and the great economic hardship in Europe, caused Louis Philippe to flee in the year 1848. National Assembly was set up again, providing suffrage to all adult males above 21 years of age and also providing them with the right to work. The French Revolution inspired the liberals who worked in secret societies against the monarchy rule established by the Treaty of Vienna. Giuseppe Mazzini was one such leader, born in Genoa, Italy in the year 1807. He was a member of the Carbonari Society and went into exile for attempt of revolution in Liguria in the year 1831. He further established secret societies Young Italy in Marseilles and Young Europe in Bern in the year 1833. He thought that God had intended nations to be the natural units of mankind, hence he fought for it. And he was thought to be the most dangerous enemy of the social order then by Austrian Chancellor Metternich. Next, we move to Italian unification. In the 1830s, Giuseppe Mazzini's attempts to unify Italy had failed, hence the whole burden fell on the shoulders of King Victor Emmanuel II. This was done to provide them political dominance and economic development for the Italian region. After all the wars, fights, plans, and Cavour forming an alliance with France in 1858, victory was bestowed upon Victor Emmanuel II, and he was proclaimed the King of Italy in 1861. Metternich remarked, "When France sneezes, rest of Europe catches cold." Greek War of Independence was a direct outcome of the feeling of nationalism growing amongst the European countries inspired by the French. Greece was a part of the Ottoman Empire since the 15th century, that is for reference 1400s. After more than 400 years, the movement for independence started in 1821. Rest of Europe supported Greece because it was considered the cradle of European civilization. Lord Byron, a celebrated English poet, fought for the Greek independence and died in 1824. After war, Treaty of Constantinople recognized Greece as an independent nation in 1832. Moving to the national unification of Germany, on 18th May 1848, a Frankfurt Parliament convened in the Church of St. Paul. However, this democratic nationalist movement failed, causing Prussia to take matter into its own hands, and the architect of German unification was Otto von Bismarck, the Prussian state's chief minister. Three wars were conducted over 7 years, and finally, on the 18th of January 1871, Kaiser William I of Prussia was crowned the German emperor. The armed revolution of Poland against Russia in 1831 is an example of the use of language as a weapon of national resistance. Polish was seen to be the spirit of nationalism in Poland. Then in 1834, we have the Zollverein, a customs union formed under the Prussian state. It abolished the number of currencies from over 30 to just two. Why is it important? Because it shows the importance of economic interests in strengthening the national sentiments. Then in 1848, we have the Frederick Soreus Prince on his Dream of the World. Moving to 1867, the Habsburg rulers granted more autonomy to the Hungarians. Why is this? Because the liberal movements became more and more prominent, and the monarchies had to introduce changes to stay in power. Then in 1882, a lecture was delivered by the French philosopher Ernst Renan at the University of Sorbonne on what is a nation. In 1914, the European Charter was drafted, and also it was the beginning of the World War I. I really hope this video helped you. Don't forget to subscribe for more such content. Do comment down below the other topics that you would like me to make videos on. Bye!